Hi folks, I'm Joshua Barrie coming to you live for a second time from McDermott because I don't think the first one worked. So here we are with my match recap. Rangers 2, St Johnstone 1, a much better second half performance for Rangers over the course. I think if you look at that game, you would say in the first half they were lethargic. They played in front of St Johnstone far too much. The only real attacking threat they had was switches over to the right to Tavernier that he would have liked. So they went in at the break goalless, and it was really a game that could have went either way. Rangers came out in the second half and looked slightly better at the start, but then Michael O'Halloran managed to score after about 5 minutes, and it was a case of him isolating himself one-on-one with Philip Hollander. Obviously Connor Goldson was out of action today, and Hollander and Balogun had looked slightly suspect on occasion. At the start of the first half, John McLaughlin was also sold a real hospital ball by Calvin Bassey, and Michael O'Halloran managed to isolate himself one-on-one and put St Johnstone 1 goal up. And this was a much different Rangers response to that of the one at Tannadice a few weeks ago. Rangers got back into the game when Ryan Kent earned a penalty. Aribo moved into the same line as Kent in the second half, and more of a 4-2-2-2 it looked like from my point of view, and I think that helped Kent. And although he wasn't having a great game up to that point, he never hid, and he received from Aribo in the box and managed to earn a penalty. And that penalty was struck away by Kemar Roof, who took the ball and capped off what had been a really good showing to that point by putting home a penalty. He just looked a step ahead of most of his teammates for the whole game, I thought. And then James Tavernier scored the winner, and it was a fantastic goal. And I think for me that shows why Tavernier is still first choice, because he can produce those moments. When Rangers needed him, he stepped up. And like Kent, even though he wasn't having the best game up until that point, he improved, he reset, and he ultimately earned Rangers all 3 points. So it was a battling performance. It wasn't vintage. I don't think Rangers in possession were as good and as fluid as they'd have liked. I don't think that they managed to progress the ball as they'd have liked, and they certainly didn't defend long balls as they'd have liked. But analysis aside, I think just from a point of view of how much they wanted that victory and how they adapted in game to go and get it was really impressive. And that's what you need even when you're not quite at your best, and that's going to happen throughout the season when they go to places like Tynecastle, Pittodrie, Easter Road. And let's not forget it, St Johnstone won 2 cups last season. They're a really good team, and they're really an effective team, and the way that they attack you with those long balls and the speed with which they attack doesn't allow Rangers necessarily, or didn't allow Rangers to always have the defensive setup they'd have liked. I still thought they didn't defend those balls from the front well enough, but that's a different matter entirely. So that is my post-match thoughts. You can get all our post-match reactions today and tomorrow in the Rangers